Tomorrow I'll be in here, participating in the second largest democratic election in the world, the European elections. There are 6 seats up for grabs for our Southwest MEPs, and with an electorate of 4.3 million, we need to get the right candidates to fill those seats. In the last European election, which took place in 2004, there was only a 38% turnout to vote. This saw the Conservatives take 3, the UK Independence Party take 2, and Lib Dem and Labour take 1 seat each. I'm sure the recent scandal over MP expenses hasn't escaped anyone's attention, and I've got to say myself, I'm not exactly overwhelmed by my sense of trust in the system, but I'm actually really worried about the knock-on effect these stupid, dishonest, money-grabbing monkeys will have on the forthcoming elections. For a start, I think if my journey into the realms of all things European Union has taught me anything, it's that people don't know how to relate to it, or what connection this remote, mysterious body has with our lives. And because of that, if people turn out to vote at all, I have an unfortunate feeling that the vote cast will be as an afterthought to their local elections taking place at the same time. Coupled with that is the rejection of mainstream parties, which I think is not only evident from the constant barrage of derogatory headlines splashed across our newspapers and on our tellies, but the proof is in the pudding as such, because when I put on a recent mock election at City College Plymouth, the parties that came out on top were the Greens, Liberal Democrats and UKIP, with the Conservatives barely scraping 3 votes out of 73, and well, the Labour Party didn't even bother to send a candidate to attend. I think this speaks loud and clear about how us youngsters feel, as Christopher Brooker from The Telegraph so eloquently puts it, that main parties have floated off into a bubble of their own conceits and concerns, which shows no understanding of the world in which the rest of us actually live. Driving through the roads of Cornwall, admiring the start of summer, you can't fail to notice the array of party placards erected along the banks of fields and gardens. You see Conservatives stating, "Vote for change." Well, all I can say to that is that the answer's in the name. Conserve meaning to keep the same, so which one is it? And if they don't even know who they are, then I'm not going to waste my vote waiting for them to find out. Further along you get hit by "Say no to the European Union, vote UKIP," which I think is hilarious, since essentially they're only a single issue party with their one sole aim being to get the British people out of the EU. But effectively, by running for election to get into European Parliament, aren't they trying to get a number of people into the European Union? Now, they may be trying to clean up after the aftermath that is the expenses scandal, but really, when we get these UKIP MEPs elected, surely they are just taking our money and having a jolly at our expense. I mean, what do we actually get for our money there? And as far as I'm concerned, their somewhat mirror image, the BNP, are just basically a fascist, racist, anti-everything party who just want to bury their heads in the sand in the hope that the once upon a time fairy will come along and make all the bad stuff go away. So really and truly, they're not the way to go either. And where is the Labour placard, I hear you say? Well, good question. Finally, we are informed of the Liberal Democrats winning here, and as far as I'm concerned, they speak the truth. They remind me of Diversity, the winners of this year's Britain's Got Talent. Not the most obvious to come out on top, but their steady, consistent, hard-working and passionate nature meant that they were capable of delivering when it counted. And more importantly, they were aware of who actually put them there. The people. And their rival, Flawless, just like the Conservatives, may talk a good game, but their name essentially gives them away. And that arrogance that they are untouchable and essentially flawless only serves to bring home to us that their inherent nature is to conserve, keep the same, not improve or change. And as for the smaller parties, I would just like to refer you to the eccentric underdog character that is Susan Boyle. Now, she may have offered something different from the mainstream, but she has actually now been sectioned under the Mental Health Act. So I ask you, do we really want either a bunch of Green, BNP or UKIP extremists governing our lives for the next 5 years. Do we?